I appreciate so much taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us today. This is my contact information. Disclaimer, anything you learn in this seminar, you need to check it yourself. My course cannot be held responsible for any loss of revenue, data, or anything else. The agenda today is we're going to talk about rescheduling a patient and have an audit trail attached to it. Then we're going to talk about eligibility verification. Then we're going to talk about the top reports in Medisoft. Then we're going to talk about the Q&A. Tips of the day. I always like to just give you a tip of the day. So today's tip is by doing Control T anywhere in Medisoft, it does give you like a timestamp. So let me show you what that means. There's so many different places in Medisoft that allowed you to add notes. There's you can add notes to a statement, memo. You can add a note to the case. You can add a note to follow up like a collection effort. So let's start first with while you're doing just a regular transaction. Now, I'm not saying what I'm going to show you is the best way to enter notes, but I'm going to show you that it's available everywhere you are in Medisoft. So let's say if I want to attach a note to this. So if I click on note here, and I want to do like an internal note for me, so this is just an internal. If you do Control T, it automatically put the date and the time and who is the logged in person. So that's just one way of doing it. So whatever you type now is going to be tagged with a note. So this is just a quick way of adding a timestamp. Another popular way of adding a timestamp, let's say I'm following up on this statement here, and I go to that statement, I open it, looked like it happened, I opened the same patient I was working with. So over here, let me just delete this. If I do my Control T, it will automatically timestamp. So the same place is if you are in a case, if you are a case note, if you are in the collections in the collection list. I have previous seminar that I kind of give you user group meetings and tips and tricks on collection list. So that's another quick way of adding notes. So there's so many different ways in Medisoft that you can add notes, and no matter which one works for you, but Control T it will work and give you timestamp in them. Okay, so that's the tip for today. Going back to the agenda, having to reschedule an appointment. So most people they'll just drag and drop an appointment. They'll just cut and paste an appointment. That's fine. But if you want to have an audit trail of these rescheduling appointment, so let me just go here and schedule a patient. So I'll use Dwight, and so now Dwight is here. If I reschedule this patient to, of course, if you do it to the same screen, to the same date, you can just do drag and drop. But what happens if I don't know what day I have available, because I have a very busy schedule? So one of the ways that you can do it is you can right click here. You can choose rescheduling. Once you do rescheduling, that appointment gets added in here. So it gets added here in my waiting list. So now by navigating away to the different date of to the different days. So let's say I want to reschedule this patient for May 23rd at 1:45. So all I have to do now, just drag and drop this from my waiting list. As soon as I put it to reschedule, it went here. Now I took it away from here, I put it here. The people that waiting here, either they're through waiting list or they call me, say I want to reschedule, but I'm driving now, I can't really tell you when I want it, so that it goes here as a holding place until they call you back and do it. So now I put it here. So what's so significant about this? If I open this appointment here, you see here rescheduling from 5/11. It was scheduled for 5/11 at 11:15 a.m. and it was rescheduled to this date by admin. I'm logged in as admin. That's my login name. So that's what I mean by an audit trail. You'll be able to see. So no, I didn't type this. You could have, uh, maybe you're wasting too much time typing notes, but by doing this, it's doing it for you. So those seconds can add up. Any question on that? The second is eligibility. So eligibility can happen in two different ways. It can happen inside Medisoft, and it can happen using the web, uh, the Connect Center by Relay Health. So there, I'm talking about the way that I recommend it is the built-in uh, eligibility verification. So you might have different ways of doing it. So doing it inside Medisoft, you have a couple different ways of doing it. One is if that patient is just a walk-in or the schedule an appointment, I just want to verify on the spot if they have insurance or not. I can right-click or push my F10. I can just verify that eligibility on the spot here. And when it comes back, it will come with all this information. This information comes in differently from different payer, different insurance company. So depending on who's the insurance company is, it will give you different information. So that's doing it one by one. I could have done it from inside Medisoft. I can do it from the scheduling. But how would you batch it? If you batch it as if you can go and do like a task, and you can program a task that 2 or 4 days before uh, the appointment, you can actually schedule that eligibility verification. I believe it's under tools. We'll do that for you if we're setting up eligibility. And no, maybe it's under activity. So you have eligibility verification here. And this is, if you push here, you'll view the results of the people that were just verified. But if you do it as a task, you get to schedule it to 2 days before the appointment, 5 days before the appointment. So if I do new here, I can choose. I don't recommend backing up from this task, by the way, causes problems. I recommend the online backup. So even the EC backup there, if you're doing it, it's not reliable. Okay. If I hit eligibility here, I get to choose. If you're a billing company, you might have different practices. Um, so I'm going to do for this, I'm going to need to log in or give it a username and password. Okay, and over here, I can call it, I give it a name. Of course, I'm going to call it eligibility. And if you wanted to perform every day, what time, you can do it like after hours, so it doesn't suck up your internet connection. Those things are very quick now, so it doesn't. I like to do it, either before you come in or 1 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning. Something. Do what day you want to start. How many eligibility per patient within the same period? If you already verified patient on Monday and patient happened to come back on Friday, you don't want to verify it again. So you don't want to verify if it's within the same 5 days. Verify primary insurance, verify secondary. You can actually verify all of this. Not many people have tertiary, but you do that. Then you save it. So what is going to happen now? A couple days before the patient comes in, you get to choose how many days you want to do. So let's say maybe I want it 2 days before. So maybe on Thursday I'm verifying people that's coming on Monday, or maybe on Friday I'm verifying the people that's coming on Tuesday. So what is this doing? It's going there and verifying if the insurance that you have on file is still a valid insurance, because people change insurance all the time. Fired people, employers that change their insurance. You're very familiar with patient coming in, and if you tell them did anything changed to your insurance, they're most likely going to say no, because they forgot. Maybe it changed 3 months ago, maybe it changed a month ago. People forget that there's something changed since the last time they were there. But this is going to give you the upper hand to know that. This is verifying from inside Medisoft. Now, I'm going to show you also a way to verify from within the portal. If you have I call that the MicroWise EDI Direct. highly recommended, which is we use Relay Health as a clearinghouse, and we give you connection to the portal of the Relay Health. And what this that does, you can verify how much deductible the patient has, if they meet the deductible, regardless of they use the deductible with you or with somebody else. You can tell if they met the deductible or not, if they pay for certain service. So if you're a chiropractor and you want to know if the patient has chiropractor service, instead of wasting 20 minutes on the phone, this eligibility verification works really nice on that. So let's watch together.
Insurance payers deny 19% of U.S. claims due to patient eligibility and coverage issues. Eligibility verification is one of the best ways to prevent insurance payment denial, avoid bad debt, and improve cash flow. Eligibility is also essential to help ensure collection of patient payments that are escalating due to high deductible health plans. Eligibility checking often doesn't happen because it's labor intensive. The average labor cost for each eligibility verification averages around $2.70 for a phone call. Despite the desire to get this information electronically from the payer, some payers may only indicate that the patient has insurance. This creates added work for staff to call or log on to payer websites to get the answers they need. Relay Health can help get you current and actionable patient eligibility. We extend your knowledge beyond basic EDI by assimilating detailed data found on more than 500 payer websites. Added information may include the patient's balance on their annual deductible, eligibility for multiple services, and important messaging that is clear and easy to understand. Our Connect Center online eligibility portal helps simplify insurance verification to help you to avoid claim denials and maximize upfront patient collections. Our easy-to-use workflow helps you determine if the patient is covered by insurance, identify copays, deductibles, and coinsurance levels for patient collections at the time of service, quickly filter to benefits based on the types of services, such as chiropractic, emergency services, professional office visit, urgent care, and others. Obtain past requests on eligibility for up to 6 months to track down payer denials that may be associated with member coverage. In addition to our Connect Center portal, you can also integrate eligibility within your solution with our APIs. Access to normalized and targeted data allows you to quickly access what you need without the complexity of knowing EDI. Relay Health is committed to your business. We have achieved CAQH Core Standards certification to ensure we offer the best service to you. Help enhance your cash flow and save staff time with the support of Relay Health's extensive payer eligibility verification. Sign up today.
I have on the call with me Greg Jones, Senior Product Engineer from Relay Health, and I'm going to transfer the presentation to him, and he's going to take it from here. Thank you, Greg.
Okay, thanks a lot. So Robert asked me to talk to you guys today about a partnership we're entering into, and I know that he had wanted me to share with you some of the things we've been working on, some of the things that I think really separate us and set us apart from other vendors that you may be working with or have worked with in the past. And so I'm just going to kind of touch at a very high level some of those tools that you're going to be able to use as a Relay Health customer. And one of the overarching things that we have tried to do here is really make it so that we are giving you information, we're pushing information out to you so that you don't have to dig around for it. You don't have to know what you're looking for. We're able to just provide you information about your processing, about your transactions at Relay Health, and give you that information, push that up to you. So, Robert, would you like me to kind of go into eligibility here and maybe talk a little bit about that? Or?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So we've worked really hard. One of the things we've been working on, and I certainly have been focused on for the last year, is dealing with eligibility. And I know if you're used to doing eligibility verifications online, doing it programmatically or entering it in to a portal or whatever tool you're using to do eligibility verification. In Connect Center, we decided to make an eligibility product that is going to, you're going to be able to do the standard, hey, I'm going to make a request, I'm going to get a response. But what we've tried to do is give you a little more, take it a little further, give you that actionable information that we're really striving to deliver. So instead of getting a list of benefits, here you go, good luck, we are trying to drill down and give you views of the benefits. So what's the copay? What's the deductible? What's the remaining amount on the deductible? Within Medicare, what is there episode of care? Things like that. Are you within an episode? What are the skilled nursing days? Things like that. We're trying to arrange that information to make it more consumable, more useful as you do eligibility. The other thing is that we are taking any eligibility request or response, the whole transaction that we get, and we are putting it in Connect Center. We're saving all of this for 180 days. So if you were to do an eligibility transaction, let's say in LIHTC, you could still go see that in Connect Center. And so you would be able to take advantage of these views because anything that's going through there, anything that's going through Relay Health is going to be shown here, again, for up to 180 days. So the one thing I can do, and I really think that this is a huge differentiator that nobody else is doing, we're able to search. So you can put in search parameters. You can get a list of eligibility transactions, and you can search on different parameters, and you can open up that transaction, and you're going to see the request. You're going to see all the various pieces of the request, the provider and the member ID and the first name and last name, all that stuff that you would expect. And then you're also going to be presented with the demographic information that's coming back in eligibility. So obviously, when you go to build a claim, you want to build it with what's on file at the payer. And we're highlighting that information here. And then we're giving you all of the benefit information, and we're kind of making it into easier to use, into an easier to use presentation. So if we also have this concept of views. So if you were interested in the deductible, for example, you can get to deductible. You can see the amount. You can also see the amount remaining. We're doing that calculation for you. So you would know if there were a deductible amount remaining. You would see that very clearly here.
Now, since I've been in healthcare, I'm sorry, Greg. Since I've been in healthcare, people have been asking about this. There is a lot of practices out there. They hold their claims, not submitted. I've seen people waiting 7 months not to submit it. This is like holding on your money for 7 months because they are afraid to bill the patient and not get paid. So they wait for other practices to bill. I don't know the legality of it, but it's none of my business. All I know is I hate to see you guys waiting on your money because you're waiting for somebody else to eat up deductible or bill the patient for the deductible. This puts you in the driver's seat here, tell you if the patient met deductible or not. This is huge. I've been asked about this for 20 years. People have been asking about it. Now we have it. Okay.
Yeah, that's a great point. And this is all stuff that we've been working on. We've been listening to the feedback. We've been taking into account all of these industry-wide issues. And to Robert's point, this has been an ongoing issue. I think eligibility in general, you get a lot of information back, and it's more of a matter of how do you deal with it? How do you make it actionable? How do you make it so that you can see a deductible, you can see the remaining amount, and know kind of how much you're supposed to take. So it's not just nice to know information. It's actually, here's something I can do to improve my my cash flow. And that's really what we have in our mind when we're working on all of our products. And you can also sort by the different service types. So, you know, you're going to have a lot more visibility into what is concerning, you know, what is your concern for eligibility. You're going to have that ability to drill in.
So a lot of plans now have high deductible, high co-insurance, high co-pay. By knowing how much the patient is due, you can get that money up front. You don't have to wait to bill the patient and good luck getting that money. You can actually do the calculation up on the front here before the patient leaves and get it from the patient if that's what you want to do. If you are interested in this type of service, we call this the MicroWise EDI Direct. We use Relay Health. There's no setup fee if you want to switch from your existing clearinghouse. Doesn't matter who it is, as long as you're not under a contract with them, we can switch you. Would be total transparent. The training, everything is at no charge, and the software. Okay, next is top reports. Before I get into top reports, let me just show you something because that's going to help you a lot. If you go to microwise.com, this page here, to get to this page is you need to go to product, you go to Medisoft, then on the right hand side, on the left hand side here, there's something called Medisoft reports. Then you click on learn more, and this is going to take you to microwise.com/Medisoft/Medisoft-report. You can just type that and go directly into there. So what I've done here is I have the name of the report because I get a lot of questions on the report. What report should I run? So this is going to help you by, it gives you the name of the report. You'll find that report inside your Medisoft. I'll show you how to search for that. It explains to you what that report does. But a lot of times you just don't know what you can filter for. So what I have here is if you click on this, it tells you what you can filter for. Okay. Then it tells you what the report is going to look like. So this is going to show you what information you're going to have in the report. So instead of wasting, because sometimes if depends how much data you have, you might be taking 15-20 minutes. Sometimes I see a report takes an hour to run. So instead of waiting to see what the report is going to look like, just go here, click on it, and see what it's going to look like. It's not your data, but hopefully you can make sense out of this. So each report here, it has the description of the report, it has the filter for the report, and it has the output for the report. Okay. So let's say I'm looking for unapplied deposit report. Okay, so let's say I'm looking for that report. So if you go inside Medisoft and you don't, I'm going to show you from inside here. So if I go to Medisoft report, this section here, it's been added in the last 2-3 years. If you don't know what folder it is, this has all the Medisoft reports, the one that you get in the main menu, and all the one that came with the acquisition of Focus Report. So Focus Report, it was designed by an ex-president of Medisoft before it got acquired. I think like 12 years ago by McKesson or per se. Then that president started a company called Focus Report, different company. Focus Report, and Focus Report, you just focus on reports. And they wrote a lot of reports that people knew that they wanted in Medisoft, and the ex-president of Medisoft knew that it was missing. So he designed this package. Then McKesson acquired that package, I don't know, like 4 years ago, and now it's included in your every Medisoft Advanced or Network Professional version of Medisoft. So if you go here and you type the name of the report you're looking for, and you hit search, you find it right there. So I can click on it, it gets me to the section, then I can just run it here. I don't have a lot of deposits here, so if I run this, it will just give me all my undeposits reports. So this is shows you, you know, the money that you received but you haven't deposited yet. So that's, hopefully that helps you find the reports you're looking for, find looking at what the report looks like when you look at it. So let me discuss the reports that I like. So number one is day sheet. So every day sheet should be something that you will be able to. So again, I can go here and type day. I think it's the word. I can search for it, and I can go to patient day sheet and run the patient day sheet, or I could have went to my menu, and it's the first report on the Medisoft report. Let me just show you that. So if I go here, report day sheet, that's patient day sheet. So this doesn't matter which way you do it. So since I'm here, let me run this. So this is all your filter. I don't think I entered anything today, so I'm just gonna leave this blank to just show you. So what this report should help you with, if somebody checks it day by day to see what was entered in the system, and somebody's double checking to make sure that things are done correctly, so that's a way of doing it. I have some people that like to print claims before they get submitted to the insurance company. When you are, if you have a revenue manager, of course, most people have revenue manager. So there is a way that you can actually print your revenue manager before you submit. So that's report number one. Please start, raise your hand if you have any question about any of the reports I'm doing here, or any report else after I'm done with this. Primary insurance aging. It should be a crime for practice that has outstanding money. Outstanding money means money that owes from the insurance company or a patient, and nobody's looking at aging report. A huge mistake. You have to look at that aging report every single month. Some people work on it every day. So that should be an important, most important report, because if you're not checking what's out there and how long it's been out there, you are committing a crime, because that money you're going to lose it. There's no way you can do this manually and have to remember what's outstanding and do it correctly. There's virtually impossible to do that. You have to look at your aging report, unless you have a different way, like the collection list. So collection list does the same thing as the aging report, but in an electronic version. That's fine. I can live with that. It's actually a good way of doing it. But if you're not doing any collection effort, if you cash, and some of you are, that's fine, good for you. It's amazing that you can do that. Some people are just, they get paid at the time of service, and they submit a claim complimentary to the insurance company. If you can do that, good for you. But most of us cannot afford to do that, or cannot, that business model doesn't work. So we send a claim to the insurance company, and we want to know if we get paid or not. So you have to look at your aging report. So again, aging report there's so many flavor of the aging report. So look at which one is best for you. Some people like to enter like a range of days. If you are entering a range of days, that means you have a mess in your account receivable, or you inherited a mess from somebody else. It's best to clean it up, because uh, living with a mess in your account receivable is not a good thing to do or to keep. And I can show you how to clean that up if anybody is interested. So this is what you filter for. This is the output, and this is what the report will look like when it's done. Okay. So there's a lot of aging reports. Now, some of the report sample that I have will have this symbol here. Uh, I've been in this business for 20 years now, and I worked with so many different systems, and reports are the hardest thing to satisfy somebody, especially if you're coming from a different system or you saw a different system. People come with creative idea and ask me, how come my report doesn't do this? So I've been designing the reports for many years. So what I did, I took this report and I put it here for you because somebody asked for it. And every time somebody asks for it, they're just amazed that how come nobody ever asked for that? Really? Am I the only one asking for this? Every day I get different requests from different people. Everybody has a different need. There's not one system on earth that can satisfy everybody with the report. So that's okay. You know, if you want to tweak an existing report, or you can look at what somebody else designed for their own practice, those are the ones with that green dollar sign. So what does this mean? I already have this report. So there's a $95 fee unless you have our titanium support plan. Then I will give it to you at no charge. So this report here is available for $95, and you can do like a package of 5 for like $300 if you want 5 reports. So each one of those reports with the green dollar sign, they're customized for somebody else. Now, if you want to design your own, most report, if you can start with something existing and filter or add or subtotal different or sort different or add a separate column, it costs usually about $295. It depends on, most reports can be done with an hour of labor or 2 hours of labor, so most of them will be about $295. Unless you see that green dollar sign, that means, don't reinvent the wheel. I already have this, so I will give it to you for $95. Unless you have titanium support, then it will be no charge. Okay. So this is each one of those here. So let me just go through the list, unless you have questions. See, I don't see questions. Okay. So really, your primary insurance aging, your second insurance aging, and there's an all payer aging. This is very important. Speaking of aging, let me show you a couple things that you need to be aware of when you're working with your Medisoft. Did you know that you can actually change the aging buckets? What does that mean? So let's say you inherited a mess from somebody else, or maybe your type of business is workers' comp and no fault, and claims don't get paid within 30, 60 days and takes a longer time. Doesn't matter what the purpose is. If you go to file and you go to report property, program option, you have a section here under aging. So this is when it comes to patient aging. So you have two choices for patient aging. You can let it age from the day of the transaction. So the patient came today and I send the claim to the insurance company. The insurance company respond after 3 weeks, and the patient now owes a co-insurance or didn't pay the co-payment. When I send that statement, it's going to say, it's 21 days old, or it's going to be 30 days old, depending how, from the day of service. If I do it from statement date, it will start aging from the day that you send the statement. So if a patient came in today, I send the claim to the insurance company. By the time the insurance company responded, it's 3-4 weeks later. I send a statement in June 10. So by June 25, that statement or that money is only 15 days old. Otherwise, it will be 45 days old. So what is that? So be careful with that. Number one is you have to be very diligent about sending statements. So you can't do this option and don't send statement, because you know what? Your patient aging will never age anymore. So very, very important, very dangerous if you choose this option and you don't send the statement, because it will never age. So aging, when I say never age, means it doesn't go into your account receivable, calculator. It's not gonna tell you 30 days old or 45 days old or 60 days old. It's going to sit as it was never aged. So dangerous unless you're very diligent about sending statement. And with Bill Flash, with the billing cycle, I have people that send statement on a daily basis. Highly, highly recommend. But did you know that I can actually change this? So instead of, if you're not interested in the 0 to 30, I can say, you know what, I don't want to know the current ones. It doesn't interest me. So I want to go from 30 to 90. Maybe that's really, I want to see that differently from the one from 90 to 120, and from 120 to maybe 360. I want to get it in a different column, and from 360 and above. Okay, so you can do it that way. The same thing you can do it for insurance. Insurance don't, you don't have the choice between transaction date and billing date. It's only has one. But I can actually go here and change this. And if I change this, so let me close it. Let me change it to the insurance company. I didn't save, so I just want to go back here and just do it to the insurance company. So let's say an insurance company, I want to do 30. I want to do from 30 to 180, and from 180 to 360, and from 360 I want to do to 700. I'm just making this up here, and from 700 to 1,000. Okay, then from 1,000 above. So maybe this will work for you if you are on workers' comp no fault, and you don't have regular insurance company. So if you, by doing this, doesn't matter which report of aging, insurance aging you're going to do now, it's going to apply. So what I mean by that is I can do it from here, or I can do one of my aging reports from here. So it doesn't matter which one, it will start to show me my columns differently from what I'm used to. So let me just show you. So see here, you have from 30. So I don't see my current anymore. So here's your current is from 30 to 180, because that's what I told it. That's what I consider current. 180, 360, 361 to 700, from 701 to 1,000, and 1,000 and above. So if that, works for you, you can do that. You can just go here and change it, and it will be affected here. So it doesn't matter. There's not one size fits all. Medisoft is used for multiple type of specialty, so you can do that. Unless you have questions, I'm going back to my reports here. So the primary, your secondary, or payer patient remainder aging is extremely important. So what's the difference between patient remainder aging and patient aging? So if I do aging here, if I do this one, this is everybody. This is my insurance aging, my patient aging. This should catch anything. Doesn't matter if I accept assignment, don't accept assignment. This is going to show me all my patient responsibility. It doesn't tell you what insurance they have. It doesn't tell you if the balance is to the insurance or to the patient. It gives you everything here as outstanding money. So I don't like the way this name of the called. If it was up to me, I would call this total account receivable. So this is, this is everything he have outstanding. So let me just go here and let me take a look at that report. All pair. This is will show you. This is one of my recommended report. This will show you everything as a summary: your primary insurance, your second insurance, your tertiary insurance. So if somebody, if a bank or your boss or the doctor or you, the doctor, want to know how much you have outstanding for insurance money, this here will just show you all the outstanding insurance money for if it's primary, secondary, or tertiary. I'm sorry, or patient remainder. So this is all your AR. This is a complete AR. I like this report because that gives you a complete outlook for all of your outstanding money. Going back here, so patient remainder aging now as the patient responsible portion. So the patient responsible portion after the insurance respond and you get paid, If you accept the assignment and now you have patient has a co-insurance, it goes into the patient remainder aging. If you don't accept the assignment, the money that you bill to the insurance company goes to patient remainder aging from day one. I hope you guys understand that part, because that's the most confusing part about Medisoft don't understanding, or in accounting, in accounting in general. You know, practices can accept assignment or not, and accept assignment to the billing system means that it doesn't become insurance responsibility from day one. If you don't accept assignment, it's a patient responsibility, and that's usually for cash practices, or maybe an insurance that the practice don't usually take or honor. They want the patient to be responsible from day one. So that's really important here. Financial statistic, month to date, year to date, those are really important reports. So let me show you that. So this is focus on financial. Focus on financial, I can do prior month, current month, but since I don't have really a lot of data here, I'm going to just run it like that. So what this gives you, it will give you day by day of each month of the year or the period that you're running. It will tell you on that day how many patients you saw and how much money you get paid. So and that money is not necessarily for the same patient, but just tell you on April 28th you saw one patient, you charge $400 and you get paid $641. Of course, that $6,400 is not for the same patient. So you get paid for somebody on 648, and it gives you the net effect on account receivable. Net effect on account receivable means the money that you have outstanding. If this is a positive, that means it increased by $20. If this is a negative, means your AR, account receivable, was reduced by. So think of account receivable as a drawer. Either you're adding money to the drawer, means it's increasing, that means you have more money outstanding now outside, or you have, if it's a negative, means it was reduced. So sometimes reduce, of course it's good, unless you're writing off too much, then you bringing it down because you write off. It's not because you are receiving money. So this is just a pure accounting 101, hopefully you guys. But again, if you have any question on that, I'm here for you. I will explain what it means. I don't want to explain it where it might be silly for other people. But if you have a question, I'll go over it. The rest of the report, okay. Deposit list. So deposit list is kind of like a good report that shows you what you, hopefully everybody that has Medisoft Advanced or above, here, this is where you should be receiving your patient payment and insurance payment, unless you're talking about a co-payment. So this here is whatever period that you receive a deposit. And if you receive the deposit, so let me just go to this one. But I don't remember who I applied that money to. If I click on detail, now it shows me who I applied that $80 for. I can print it if I want to, and it says print grid because I can choose what column I want and what column I don't want. And if I hit OK here, it will just explain to me, it will show me on the screen all the people that I applied that money for. So this is, this is really good if you don't tie at the end with a zero, and you don't know maybe you misapplied it, or you don't remember who you applied it to by hitting details. So this is a good report. So this report here is, normally it has today's date here. If I received money today, it will show up here. So if I receive here a check for Aetna, so if you come up here and you say the check number was blah blah blah, and it was $756, and it was from Aetna, and I like to have all those accounts comes up. I don't like to have a code for each insurance company. I like to see insurance pay, insurance adjustment, or but that's a different topic. So if I hit OK here, So that money shows up here because I received it today and I said I want to see today. If I go to yesterday, it will show me what was here. There's nothing here. That means there's nothing was received yesterday. But those here will show me all the deposit. This will show me all the deposit that has not been applied. So that's a good filter to do. So by doing this, all the money that has not been applied, it will show up here. And a lot of times this stuff is done by mistake. So this can happen by receiving money and don't apply it, or it also can happen by deleting a payment, then you go on and don't reuse the same entry here to apply it again. You go and receive it one more time and you wind up with an extra. This thing here does not change the patient balance. So if I just delete this, by seeing the amount here, it might show on some reports as the unapplied amount, but if I delete it, it will disappear and it will not change the patient balance whatsoever other than the unapplied amount. It doesn't show. So hopefully I didn't confuse you on that, because it's one of those topics that a lot of people don't pay attention to. And one of my other report that I like is unbilled transaction. Really, really important to report. So what happened is, I see this mistakes happening a lot of time when somebody come here to claim management, and when they hit create claims, they used to filter. If they put a filter here, if somebody messed up that filter date range that they look for, my recommendation, don't put a filter, you hit create. But and if he does, nothing is being to be created, will tell you. But if people that put filter, I find the tendency of missing some stuff to be built. So before you hit, if you're not used to leave it blank and you want to leave it blank in the future, before you do that, if you go, let me just delete the range here so I can show you what I mean. So by deleting claims, which is you should never do unless you want to recreate them, it puts it in something called the unbilled transaction. So if I go to a report, this report is kind of, out of the way. So if I go to report, if I go to design custom report, so this is, those reports will show up here. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to design. I want to go to custom report list. So this here, custom report list. And this area here, you can filter by the different category, but the one I want to show you is all the way at the bottom. It's called unbilled transaction. So if you run this report here, it will show you all the transaction that never made it to a claim. Again, I'm not going to filter. So what's going to show up here is all the claims I just deleted. So why they here? Because they don't have a claim. Now, if you are doing claims like that, if I go to claims and when I hit create claims, all the one I deleted will actually come back. Okay, so those reports will come back. And if I go and recreate that report again, it will be blank. So before, you can do create claims and not put a date range. If you used to do a date range, run that report first, go to report, go to custom report list, and run that unbilled transaction report. And if it comes out blank or has manageable number of pages, then you can find, so anything that shows up on that report, which should not have anything now, means it never made it to a claim. So it doesn't make it to a claim in two situations: somebody deleted report claims and never recreated, or somebody is used to do claims, creating claims manually by hitting print or by going in and filter for date range. So most people that do that, they miss some claims or some transaction from being on a claim, and this report is extremely important because it will catch anything that never made it on a claim. So if you see something there you know that this claim never made it outside, or maybe it did and somebody deleted the claim. Okay, so the rest of the other two reports is really probably one of, you're going to like one of the customized one, because those 8 ones are really the top ones. Every practice should be running those top 8 reports.
It's 11 o'clock.
And good time flies fast, so it's already 11 o'clock. So I will open the floor now for Q&A. So if you have a question, either type it or raise your hand and I will unmute you. Okay. While you think of a question, let me show you how you're going to find this recording or any other recording. So if you go to MicroWise and you click either on the events that you probably registered for. So when you go and look at the agenda for future, okay. So let me look at previous, because that. So let me just look at today's meeting. So if I go and open that, I get to see the invitation, I get to see the agenda, and over here on this TV here, if I click on that TV, I get to see all my previous recording. So just at the bottom here, I can move to a different screens, so I get to see more. So each one of those is either something I wanted to show you or a recording of tips and tricks, just like the one we did today. The same thing you can actually do from, if you go under Medisoft and you click on the training icon. If you go all the way to the bottom here, so this is best practice. If I click on Medisoft, it gets me to the same page. So hopefully you find today's useful. If you have no question for me, I want to thank you so much for your business. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to attend. I will have, I see a hand here. So let's see the hand. Okay, so she wrote the question, is eligibility verification in an add-on feature? So eligibility verification comes with your clearinghouse package. So depending on who the clearinghouse is, so what I was talking about today is the MicroWise EDI Direct. We use Relay Health, and we do the package. If it has eligibility, it will have the features that I showed you today. You have the Connect Center, where you can check it online, or you can check it within the Medisoft in the scheduling, or within the Medisoft billing itself. So it's a part of the EDI package. So yes, you can consider it as an add-on. It doesn't come as a part of any software, because every software uses different clearinghouse, and every person has a different need for their EDI. So it will be different. Hopefully that answers your question. Any other questions? Oh, I see another question by Lori. Okay, I can. Okay, yes, you're not gonna. If the way that I showed you, it works best with Relay Health, with our package. We call it the MicroWise EDI Direct. If you have a different clearinghouse, just give us a call, and depending on the clearinghouse, we might be able to configure it to work with that clearinghouse. But you're not gonna get the online feature where it shows you how much deductible they met and what kind of service is covered or not. And so, all right. Any other questions? This is my contact information. If you don't think of a question now, you can email it to me. I'll be glad to work with you. I want to thank you so much for your time. I want to thank you for your business, and have a wonderful day.